Got Chad back, and he's playing amazing. They got Tim Montresor, and he's playing amazing. And they're getting contributions from their young guys when they need them.
So here we go, getting into this first point. Shock on your right, and it looks like the first body to drop is going to be Tim Montresor coming off for Tampa Bay damage, but it looks like you got your wish, Todd. Carl Markowski getting a spin.
50 snake. We're pretty much on the break, running all the way out there. But hey, at least he's in the game now. Let's get him involved.
So he's going to take the walk, 4-on-4. Throw 16 minutes on that clock here in regulation time. Who's going to take this victory? Chicago Aftershock looking for their first win of the tournament, and damage, if they win this one, they'll go 3-1. Another body coming off for Tampa Bay damage, Chad Bougier on that D side of the field.
Jason Edwards making the fill from the center out to the snake side corner behind Dan Holiday.
Yeah, Dan Holliday's been having a good weekend playing snake side too. And with the backup of Edwards, when the two of them get in, so if Dan Holiday gets into the snake, that I'm sure that they'll steal the point of Aftershock, but Aftershock keep trying to get into the snake.
Oh.
First it was Makowski.
Well, and now it's Drew Templeton.
Yeah.
And Todd, we talked about this. Aftershock just can't find somebody to play this snake side right now. Everyone's having a hard time over here. And they don't have Zach Patient. He's sitting on the sidelines, literally, not literally, but metaphorically locked in a cage over here for the next 10 minutes.
Yep, and he's not even dressed, so he's not going to come out of the cage and get into the game. But here comes Chris Sosine. He takes one in the side, trying to bump up that Dorito side behind Ronnie Dizon. Dizon moving up, trying to get shots on Holiday, but Holiday takes one from straight ahead. Jason Edwards now, he gets pinched out by Ronnie Dizon over on that Dorito side, and Rob Velez stepping up, making a bump out here wide on the snake side, spacing the field, and closing out a point with Ronnie Dizon.
So that's Ronnie Dizon punching the clock over there on that D side with 3 bodies left alive for Aftershock, and just about 2 minutes expired on that game clock to put the first point on the board. Nice job by Rob Velez, Ronnie Dizon.
Yeah.
So Aftershock's still the point. So completely going against what I said about damage, but we'll see what happens. But Aftershock pull it out the bag. They couldn't push it snake side, but hey, what happened Dorito side? Ronnie Dizon doing the work.
Well, damage had survivability problems. They lost Tim off the break and then lost a couple guys out of their spots. And they haven't really been doing too much of that this weekend. And Aftershock, lucky for them, had Ronnie Dizon, who, really not wanting to go quietly and put the work in he needed to do, bunker to bunker to bunker, got some kills and finished things off from that D side along with Rob Velez.
And here is Seattle Uprising. Grain Arnold joining the crew there at the start gate. And they'll be facing Russian Legion, who I believe are already through, really, because they've been playing so well.
And this will be a good test for Uprising out here. No matter what, even if they don't make it.
Kevin Coombe take a early hit there. It's 2 Russian Legion players that have gone early, so great lanes there for Uprising off the break.
Yeah, Uprising getting 2, and then charging down the field.
And
all the way up on the Dorito side now. Kirill's up in that center wall, but
and
they
lose
2 kills.
They lose Borromeo and also Nate Schrader. So 2 of the big guns for Uprising coming off early. Another body coming off for Moscow Red Legion. And here comes the push down the D side and right past Peridney. Still going on that D side of the field. Uprising in there, takes out that guy, hits the field. Who is that?
Joel
Eaton.
Right,
yeah, Joel Eaton.
Joel Eaton takes out Malloy and steal the buzzer.
What a move right there by Joel Eaton. Goes out there gunning, sees the bodies go.
With confidence.
Makes his move.
With confidence, too. He took out those last players and didn't even need a check. Hit that buzzer right away, knew he didn't take a paintball. Nice work by Joel Eaton. So, yeah, let's see if we can get another look at this. Joel Eaton stomping up on that D side of the field. There he goes. Let's see. Actually, so there's Kirill in the center. Yeah, so there's Eaton, takes off from that 40-yard line, comes through, gets 1, gets 2, and then, again, didn't even need a check, didn't even take a stream of paint. Able to score that point for Seattle Uprising. Yeah,
all
no
cash,
check, all
baby.
cash.
Joel Eaton, all cash. It's a good first point there by Uprising, but, if we are in the case of that head-to-head and Uprising can't make it in, this is still going to be a good game for them to play, good learning experience, because Legion is playing well. And, every step, every point, every match that Uprising plays in this league is going to help them get better and better as the season goes on.
Well, if they're already doing this well, I mean, that bodes very well for their future. So now in this match, Aftershock up by 1 against Tampa Bay Damage. Damage losing a body early, also Shock as well.
Yeah, looks like Varga comes walking off for Shock. Bougere comes walking off for Damage. Here comes John Woodley up the middle of the field.
And Barger on your screens there on Dorito's side. Woodley in the center. As Damage are pushing up Dorito's side. Oh, get the upper hand.
You know, and here we see again, Woodley up in the center, guys dying all around him. I talked to Woodley in the small break we had between these games, and Woodley said, you know how frustrating it is if...
he just checks inside now as Edwards, he doesn't know that he's still in the center bunker.
Edwards can't even see Woodley right there. You see directly across him, now past him. Woodley's going to get shot in the pack by Jacob Edwards. Finally figures out where he is and sees him.
But I was saying, I talked to Woodley, he said, you know how frustrating it is to be up in the center, trying to do what you're supposed to do? Guys die around you, and then you get stuffed in the back. I was like, yeah, I absolutely know how frustrating that is. I've been there many times. Yeah, it's terrible.
Oh, man. There's Jacob Edwards right now doing the stuffing, sitting on Aftershock's side of the field. Lawhead is over here in the snake side corner. He's just got Velez with him, but I saw a yellow flag go flying in the air. Lawhead gonna get pulled. Might have been because of Woodley, because they left Velez in, but here comes Tim Montresor again down the snake, puts one ball directly on Velez's shoulder, and that's gonna do it for Chicago Aftershock this point. Oh, am I missing somebody here?
Yeah, I think they're playing against each other. Because I can't think there being another Aftershock player on the field. I can't see them.
And so Tim Montresor,
He's being shot by his own
he just got
player.
shot by his own guy.
Yeah,
and you can see the
crowd
crowd is now chuckling here as it looks like, yeah, Tim Montresor getting shot out by his own guy.
Yeah, by
but hey,
Jacob Edwards.
But it was just
Jacob's going to claim that kill. He's gonna be like,
no, I think that was Timmy Probst, who we haven't really seen a lot out of so far
Jacob's
here.
going to be like, I got it, that's G. Get out, Timmy.
I think it might have been Timmy, but regardless, one of his boys shot him. But good for them, they still got that point, so.
Thought I was crazy there for a second.
I said, I'm looking at the fielding. There's no Shock players remaining. Where's this coming from?
I think half of the stands also understood what was happening, because that's why, they started cheering and laughing there.
Well, they may not have seen Lawhead walk off on the minor penalty, but here comes Uprising and the Russians. Once again, Eaton, Arnold, Borromeo, Olsen, Schrader.
It's the usual 5, isn't it, there, Todd? They keep putting out the same 5.
Yep, that's the 5. That's the squad.
And Russian Legion mixing up here and there, but mainly utilizing the 3 French guys from Tonton, Axel Golden, and Colombo. I can see from here. It's Malloy second in from the left.
And it looks like Smotrov. So here we go on the breakout. Uprising up by 1. Can they continue here in this event?
Borromeo asking for a check.
Yeah, doubling up that back center. They double actually and lose both those bodies out of there.
Borromeo just got shot up over the top of that temple. Referee thought about throwing a minor on him, didn't.
Lose
just
Nate.
Joel Eaton left.
And they lose Nate Trader too. So not looking good for Uprising right now.
Man, Joel Eaton sure looks fast in those capri pants, man. I mean, I know he's fast, but he was fast getting out to that Dorito. Actually, you know what? Everybody on Uprising can run. Nate and Alex are actually pretty fast themselves.
Alex Gray is the speed demon.
Alex Gray, yeah, they got some small guys. They got some wheels. Definitely going to be a threat here.
That was a quick point by Russian Legion there.
Yeah. Well, the minor penalty didn't help.
Well, and they doubled up those 2 center structures. We've only seen that play a couple times, going with those heavy guns, trying to get those kills off the break, and it just didn't work out for them. They lost a body, penalty, 2 more bodies, and that was it. And then they lost another one real quick after that. So that's why Moscow was able to tie it up. Speaking of ties, you got another tie game here. Tampa Bay Damage, Chicago Aftershock. Aftershock still hunting for that first win. Damage trying to coast into Sunday. And also stick around after the conclusion of this match, as we're going to have the drawing to find out who plays who tomorrow morning in the Pro Division. And also on Sunday, going to have the final games in the divisional matchups on center court here.
Bukowski had a little trip there off the break, but big push into Snake Corner. Asked for a check.
I think he got one
on
in the
right.
back, yeah.
Yep. He hasn't had a good time getting out Snake side.
And it looks like Shock's going to lose 2 bodies, make that 3 really quickly. Just 2 left here. Woodley turns around again and sees 3 bodies walking off the field. And Tampa Bay Damage. Huge guns up off the break. Just the 2 Snakeside temples for Chicago Aftershock. Mike Bruno temporarily losing his mind over here on the sidelines. Just can't seem to figure out what his team needs to do to stay alive and win points. Here comes Chad Bougere and Tim Montresor on the hunt. Looking to make a move, close out the game. Ooh, one whipped right by Chad Bougere's head. He's going to cut to the inside, come up to the center wall bunker. Gun up on Woodley. Woodley going to try and get out of there. Help himself by getting into Snake 1. He does. But immediately he's going to start getting pounded by Montresor.
Yeah, and again, this is a similar situation. Shock cannot get anyone over here on the Snake side to contribute, really, and now forced to send Woodley this way. No one in that center. They lost 2 bodies, and Woodley in there basically hugging the bunker. Pinch from both sides, trying to talk to Chris Sosine. Damage with all the spots.
Yeah, Tim Montresor going to make a move now. He's just putting some heat down on Woodley, and Snake is pushed all the way into Snake Corner. He's just asked for a check.
Oh, looks like Sosine might have got one. Did he shoot Jacob in the pack? Oh, maybe not. Referee going to blow the horn. Jacob, he's been running down that Dorito side. Actually, he's been running all over this field throughout the prelims.
So the point goes to Damage.
Definitely,
Jacob's definitely got to be happy to have Chad Bougere back. Those guys are working really well over there together.
Well, you know, when Jacob was coming up, when he was, you know, a late teenager and came into the pro league, is one of those, you know, he's Jason Edwards' brother. Obviously, paintball runs strong in that family because Jason's incredibly highly talented. He made his name for himself first, and then Jacob comes up and also proved that, you know, he's an incredible paintball player too. But he came up with Chad on that D side of the field. Then Chad went to Impact last year, helped him win a series title, going back to Damage. So I couldn't agree with you more. If I was Jacob Edwards, and as soon as I got that call that Chad was coming back, I would have just been a huge ear-to-ear grin, like, okay, we're going to have a way better chance this year to try to contend.
And, you know, I was happy for Chad when he got the deal to go to Impact. But, you know, to me, he's always going to be a Damage guy. You know, he grew up in that system. That was his team. He's the one that helped lead them to championships. And, you know, it's nice to see him back there with the squad, and I think they needed him. Watching them play last year without him, you know, it's definitely a good job or a good move to get him back. So here goes Eaton on the run again, all the way out wide. Makes it out to that wide, tall cake on the Dorito side, and immediately jumps into that mini wall bunker. Utilizing that speed once again, got Schrader behind him. Borromeo makes it into Snake 1 on the break. He's going to get a check by the referee. Uprising not scared at all to gun up and go toe-to-toe with the Russians right now. Graham Arnold holding down the back. There's Eaton on your screen right there, sitting on the outside of that mini wall. He's got Schrader behind him, wrapping around the outside, going to make his quick bump, get into that 40 Dorito, immediately gun up across the field, look towards that Snake. You see the line he just took. Checks off that inside Snake, but is going to get picked off.
Yeah, Uprising looking really strong and aggressive. It's great paintball to watch, but Russian Legion unable to shoot them on the break on this point, and having a straight-up gunfight now as they push Snake side. Malloy filling in, and Slava there on your Snakes at number 27. He'll look to push Snake side. They're still doubling up. I think it's Colombo.
Yeah, doubled up. There goes Beardnikov. He's going to take off towards the Snake corner. Looks like he's going to get in there alive. Making that fill. Here comes Slava coming out of that temple, getting into Snake 2.
Uprising dropping a body while we're focused on Legion then, and Slava gets shot on the top of the head as he pushed Snake 50. It's now 4 against 3 in Legion's favor, but Malloy's in the corner, and it's matched up by Uprising, also filled the corner. Graham Arnold in the center. And both teams just talking it up now.
Well, the Russians are in no hurry really to make any moves over here. They've got the body advantage.
There's still
Malloy's in the corner.
And a ton of time left in this game. 12:43 to go, tied up at 1. Russians with a little bit of a body advantage here. And the field position definitely improving for Moscow as Vernikov making his way into Snake 2. Just saying that the field position is about equal for both teams, even with the body count, but Malloy putting himself in a much better field position right now. And Uprising loses Nate Schrader over there on the D side.
It's Nate Schrader coming off. Graham Arnold filling out there towards the Dorito side, goes to the Dorito tower.
Says moves
Saw
now.
Malloy move into the 50 or 50 Snake. Turns around, starts yelling towards teammates. There you see the Snake side corner. That's Olsen. Arnold at the top of your screen. Big moves over there on the Dorito side, coming up into the 40 Dorito for the Russians. And looks like Malloy just bounced. Nope, he's shot. Graham Arnold. Arnold comes walking off. And Uprising going to throw in the towel, as you see Kirill on your screen right there in the 50. He's getting ready to do work on Uprising, but 2-1 lead now. 11:39 left to go in this match.
Still a close game.
Yeah, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, still some time left. Just, I like, even though, Uprising did lose that point, and they're losing right now to Moscow by 1, but considering that this is their first pro event, I'm impressed by what Uprising's bringing right now. We've seen a lot of times that, these younger teams come in and just struggle for seasons. Well, and for them to win 2 yesterday, and yeah, they lost their first one to Tampa Bay Damage, and now playing a really strong Moscow squad that's kind of finding their form again, but Uprising, we'll see what they're going to do as things move forward, but they have 4 more events, and they could do really well this year.
What I'm happy about is that they're playing the way they play. They haven't changed anything. This is how they won last year. This is how they're going to play in the pro division. So Jacob Edwards trying to make a move on the Dorito side. He gets chopped up. Chicago Aftershock going up to, sending Drew Templeton up to the wall on the break. Looking to get some kills. Jason Edwards gets shot and comes walking off. 3 bodies left alive. There goes Chad Bougere. Now just the Snake Temple 1 and the back center for Tampa Bay Damage.
And you can see our Eye in the Sky, brought to you by GI Sports. Looking at it from Chicago Aftershock's view. As you can see, Chicago Aftershock up there in the center. Looking pretty good. Lawhead in the Snake. Lawhead's now going to make his move to Snake 2. Bodies dropping for Tampa Bay Damage, so in the driver's seat right now. Chicago Aftershock trying to make the most of this field position here, get another kill. Looks like Tim Montreso's going to get peeled out. There's Barga on the D side, past the 50-yard line.
They're coming down to 10 minutes now left on the clock. Big move down the center. I like this little duck and dive.
And there's Drew Templeton. Goes up and just stabs out Dan Holiday. And that is going to tie this game up here with just about 10 minutes to go.
So we'll check out the replay now on that run through by Templeton. There's Holiday there on the bottom of your screens. And he was actually shot beforehand. But the run through comes through and Drew Templeton was unaware of that.
That's Holiday barely flinched too when he took those couple right there. So got a set of close matchups here. Shock and Damage tied up at 2. Moscow Red Legion up by 1 against Uprising here in our last set of the day as the prelims are winding down. 2016 NXL Las Vegas Open, brought to you by GoSports.com. Matty Marshall alongside Shelly Farmer, Todd Martinez, calling the games for you guys here.
It's nice to see the Cam in the Sky brought to you by GI Sports. They're just showing you the bleachers. As we're closing down now on the Saturday prelims, this is the last bracket of the day. Thank you for joining us and tuning in. I hope you're enjoying Go Sports back home. This is Russian Legion on the left, Uprising on the right, and I'm really enjoying watching Uprising play. I love aggressive play in any sport, and they're quick and aggressive. I'm quickly becoming a real fan.
That's what I'm saying, you know what it is. It looked like they're all over the place. Definitely being aggressive and attacking. Red Legion now just also doing a good job getting those early kills, though, and keeping control. But we got one Russian walking off right now.
Yeah, but also one coming off here for Uprising, and now up into the center is Colombo, up over the top too. He's tall enough to gunfight out of that spot.
There goes Malloy running all the way back to the snake corner. Borromeo comes walking off. Olsen comes walking off. Just Schrader and Arnold now for Uprising. Here comes the Russians through the middle of the field. Looking for that body. He doesn't know where they are. Finds him now. Shoots Nate Schrader in the goggles. He comes walking off. Just Arnold. Arnold's going to wheel and deal. Does Arnold get Colombo? Arnold on Colombo.
Oh, Colombo is a great move there. Shooting Uprising in the goggles. That's kind of what you need, because Colombo has been playing back center, doubling up a lot. We haven't seen a lot of him for Legion. He's kind of like that quiet assassin for the Russians and for Tonton back over in Europe.
Colombo's not a flashy player, but he just gets it done. I think that's why he has found his way onto these top-level teams, both in Europe and in the States here, and has been that guy for a long time.
Every time I think, talk about Colombo, I think about Voluk. We get a moment of silence for Voluk's retirement.
A small moment of silence for
That
Loic Voluk.
was enough.
Yeah, no, I love Loic, man. Awesome guy. And, yeah, he had to retire. You know, he still had the game. It's just that he retired to kind of take over for leading the French Federation.
Yeah.
You know, in Europe, it's interesting the way they kind of do their divisional ranks and country by country. So kind of took over the ship there for the French Federation.
And nothing going right for Chicago Aftershock over here right now on the snake side. They lose 3 bodies early, and Woodley is up in the middle of the field with just 1 body behind him.
Yeah.
Mike Waring and Tim Montress are over here for damage on the snake side.
Once again, Woodley up in the middle, but players behind him dying. He's all alone in a way, trying to make it work.
Yeah, Shelly, a story often told here for Chicago Aftershock is LJ Woodley up in the center, everyone around him dying. And now Aftershock forced to concede the point, give damage another one here. So that's going to make it 4-2. 8 minutes, 32 seconds to go.
So we're going to follow Woodley off the field into the Aftershock pits. So here comes some fresh legs. Tommy Tucker coming on the field for Uprising. See if he can make a difference. Olsen coming back in. Schrader, Arnold, and Olsvik. Last time we saw Olsvik, he went up to that center wall on the break. Haven't really seen Uprising utilize that center wall as much this match. So we'll see if they send Olsvik up there right away. Nate Schrader into that big Dorito. Nothing too crazy. Here comes Olsvik up the middle, gets in there. Kirill's going to come up and mirror up with him.
Boom.
Minor penalty now on Uprising. So even though winning the battle at that center 50, losing 2 bodies behind him.
Yeah, 2 bodies come walking off. Peridny and Bierdnikov.
Yeah.
So productive move right there for Olsvik to come up, turn around, talking to his teammates.
Well, he's going to need to get another one here. It is evened up, but he's in the position.
So looks like Tucker came off with Olsen. So it's just Schrader, Olsvik, and Arnold on, looks like it's a 3-on-3 right now. The Russians in the Dorito 1, the Dorito Tower, and the Temple 1 on the snake side. There you see the shot of Olsvik from down on the field, standing on the Dorito side of that wall.
And now repositioning for Uprising, heading back to that center. Now Arnold's going to make his move. They lose Olsvik in the center. Arnold made his move over here towards the snake side of the field, but now advantage goes to Russian Legion. 9 minutes and 20 seconds to go and up by 2. Making a move out there towards the D side of the field, back corner bunker.
Golev standing in that Dorito Tower, shooting at Arnold. Arnold tries to make a move through his gun, gets there. Now he's in the Temple 2, looking across the field at the Dorito side.
Whenever I look at Arnold, he always looks like he's just about to walk through a lane or get shot, but he always manages to get out alive to the bunker he wants to get to.
Crafty.
Yeah, invincible.
Well, he's the only guy over here right now for Uprising. And Nate Schrader trying to clock in, and he does over here, D side. Kill comes off. There for Moscow Red Legion. Going to open things up potentially for Nate Schrader.
Well, he gets one. Makes it a 2-on-2 now. Looks like, is that Smotrov going to make the move back? Going to go back to the back center to go contend with Nate Schrader. Here comes Schrader down the Dorito side onto the Russian side of the field.
And this is a huge point right now for Uprising. You want to keep it close, keep within one. If Schrader can pull it off on this D side, gets another one too. So Schrader going to town, clocking in. I think he just caught one though.
It's a one-on-one now.
And Arnold needs to get in this game.
Wait.
Smotrov has no idea what's going on. He's running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Smashes into the bunker, trying to protect himself. And now picks up Arnold.
This is huge for Graham Arnold right now needs to win this one-on-one to keep Uprising in this match. Yeah, there's a lot of time, but this is a big momentum shifter. If Russian Legion goes up by 3, or can't Uprising keep it close, keep that 1-point spread, it's going to be up to Graham Arnold and also Smotrov. You got Smotrov left alive, right?
Smotrov.
Yeah, so for Russian Legion, and he was able to get that shot on Schrader, who was doing all the damage for Uprising on that D side, got 2 confirmed kills before he got taken out.
And now takes a look at the clock, try and see where we're at as far as the time goes.
Smotrov's the young player, the 18-year-old we were talking about earlier, who's working snake side. So he's like the rookie in a way for Red Legion. Kirill was saying bringing on these young players with real talent, dominating Iceball over in Moscow. Scoring up here against Graham Arnold of Uprising.
Looked like Arnold.
Oh, Graham Arnold gets the far shot and is going to take this to a 1-point matchup. And what a great game by Graham Arnold and Nate Schrader, saving that one here for Uprising. Looks like the point is going to be good. 6 minutes, 51 seconds to go, 1-point ball game.
Nice move right there by Graham Arnold to reposition. And you always talk about one-on-ones, trying to create confusion, make your opponent lose you. So Graham Arnold going to need a quick breather after that, because he's going right back out on the field. It's going to be a 1-point game. Not sure if he's even missed a point yet here.
I don't think he has. He's played every point for Uprising. Being the anchor at the back.
Well, I was talking to Nate Schrader before the event, and he was really confident about his team's chances out here. And, sometimes when I hear that from guys, I think, okay, is this authentic or is it bluster? Is this just you really overconfident in your guys coming into the pro ranks? I mean, I've heard this time and time again over the years, but,
Yeah, well, they had a lot of success in the amateur division with these guys.
They did, but that's the amateur division. I mean, even regardless, semi-pro, D1, whatever you want to call it, it's still not top-level paintball, and it's a huge jump. The timing's different, the skill level, the talent, everything. It's the best of the best, but these guys have just been so scrappy.
Well, the team died. They came to Vicious. That team died. They had an opportunity to come back together, put it together, decide to make it happen. Played all last year, had a lot of success, and now this is going to be that big challenge for them. And I think they're just as excited to see it as everybody else is. So should be a good year. They're definitely going to be a fun team to watch. As Chicago Aftershock losing a body, but being aggressive over here, losing 2 bodies. They got Lawhead in the snake, Drew Templeton going back up to the wall. Tim Montresor getting shot out for damage. But they still have Jason Edwards, Jacob Edwards, and Chad Bougere from the back center across to the D side. Drew Templeton trying to contend with Chad Bougere.
I just went back and double-checked. I was looking at a text message from Nate. He said, "Look out for Graham Arnold." Exact quote. And sure enough, Graham Arnold clocking in that last one. So now back in this matchup, 1 point separates Aftershock and Damage, 7:02 on the clock.
So here we have Barger walking off the field for Shock. It's just Velez, Lawhead, and Templeton trying to make something happen. It is a 1-point game. We just went under 7 minutes. Lawhead makes the move into the 50 snake. Gonna wrap around. Try and get a shot in on Jacob, who's standing in that Dorito tower. Lawhead yelling over to Drew Templeton. Damage with just those 3 bodies. Did I see Chad Bougier walk off the field? Nope, he's still in Dorito 1.
Yeah, he's playing nice and tight there, Todd. Here he's making a big move now. Dorito side and gets clipped there.
Yeah, it gets taken out. I mean, Shock just has the spots right now. They're up in the center. They got Lawhead also 50-yard line on the Snake side. He's got a player right behind him, Velez. So Shock loading up, but Lawhead catching another one in his spot.
Yep. Jacob Edwards with a nice shot, ran out into the wide open, shot Lawhead, and then ran back, making it a 2-on-2. It's just the Edwards brothers right now versus Templeton and Velez. Velez goes right into Lawhead's bunker. And Drew Templeton looks like he might have just got wrapped on by Jacob Edwards.
Edwards is having a game.
Wow. Just when you think you can push into him, Jacob Edwards gets 2 quick kills.
Yeah, but how did Jacob Edwards become paintball famous? Doing exactly what we're watching right now on this point. We'll see if he can continue it, though. Still have to shoot out Velez. Velez still alive, wheeling and dealing here from the 50-yard line on the Snake side, trying to get this one even here for Chicago Aftershock.
There's another guy on damage that does stuff like that. His name's Jason Edwards. Learned that, but Velez getting that shot in on Jacob. Gonna be a one-on-one here now between Velez and Jason.
It's another one-on-one here in the final bracket.
We've seen Velez win some one-on-ones before. Definitely nobody better you want to have in a one-on-one than Jason Edwards if you're damaged.
Well, Velez is one of those guys doesn't get as much praise as some of the other guys on Shock because they've definitely loaded up on, talented and experienced players. But yeah, Velez, he's been one of their solid contributors.
He's confident and he's scrappy, Like the way that Velez plays is like a traditional Aftershock guy.
I was just going to say, you could use the words confident and scrappy to define every single era of Aftershock paintball.
Going head-to-head right now with Jason Edwards. Jason Edwards in the Dorito 1. Velez sitting in the 50 Snake. Jason trying to create some space. Backs up and goes to the Dorito side corner.
Well, Velez just loaded his last pod, and he's been rolling his gun. He's got to be careful here. Do not want to shoot through your loader. Not sure how many pods Edwards has on his back. Velez going to do a tactical retreat. Velez loads his last pod, so he did have one left. And Todd, can you see how many pods Edwards has on his back from your angle? Doesn't look like much.
I can't from here, but we are now under the 4-minute mark. Damage up 1. Jason Edwards, the time is on his side.
Well, Velez now all the way on the D side of the field.
And Velez moved into the, onto the D side, but also kind of looking into the sun now. Jason Edwards is
picking up paintballs right now. He just picked up a ball off the ground.
Yeah, he's completely run out of paint.
He's looking for more. It's not that humid out here. You can definitely pick paintballs up off the ground right now and have it be effective because the lack of humidity.
Yeah, definitely. So Jason Edwards picked him up. Did he just shoot Velez?
With one ball that he picked up off the ground?
No, it looked like he might have broke that ball that he put in his gun because he just squeegeed it out. Velez looking for Edwards, wondering why the paint stopped. Edwards broke that ball that he shot.
And I think they might both be out of paint. Maybe Velez has a couple left.
Well, I think Velez has got to have more because he dumped that last pod but hasn't been shooting that much. But, I mean, Edwards, all he needs is one.
Yeah, all you need is one, but you need one to break. And right now, Edwards just posted up.
2 minutes, 30 seconds left on the clock. And that was the big...
What'd I say?
All you need is one.
One ball off the floor.
What did he shoot him
Edwards.
With? Shot him with one ball that he picked up off the ground.
Yeah, Jason Edwards, what's up? He's ridiculous.
Allow me to introduce myself. Jason Edwards, congratulations to him. Going to put another point on the board for damage, which may seal the deal. My God, Jason Edwards. Mikey Bruno is absolutely losing it over here on the sideline, screaming at the referees. He's being actually physically escorted back into his spot. You only have a certain amount of area that you're allowed to navigate over here on your side.
Let's watch the action replay. The one ball picked up off the floor. Boom.
And you can see Velez getting caught trying to make that move. We could run this back here. Velez, gunned up left-handed, tries to get across that lane and just tries to dodge it but couldn't do it. Jason Edwards with the accurate crossfield shot with a ball he picked up off the ground. He only had one ball to make that shot.
That's all you need sometimes. Every time.
Russian Legion lose one off the break already as Uprising push up the center.
So right now, referee in there checking out Uprising in the center. And it looks like Olsvik is, Martel is wearing Olsvik's jersey. So, hey, if you want us to sing your praises and you're doing well, probably should wear your own jersey. But so Martel wearing Olsvik's jersey.
Looks like Olsvik. Either way, Brandon Olsen gets shot first for Uprising. He comes off the field. They still got Graham Arnold and Alex Borromeo over here. Borromeo in the Temple 1.
And the center 50.
We do have a 1-point game here after Graham Arnold won that one-on-one against Slava. Under 6 minutes now. Uprising with 3 bodies. The Russians with 4. There you see Martel up in the middle of the field. Probin looking for the bodies. Colombo makes his move out into the Dorito Tower.
Graham Arnold now pushes Dorito's side. Quick bump to spread the field for Uprising. Arnold obviously wants to push Dorito's side.
Ooh, Martel standing up in between the snake side cut. Looks like he might have taken one off his loader. He's
Quick
still
check.
clean. The Russians have the Dorito 1, the Dorito Tower. Alexander Bierdnikov in the back center.
About to crack that 5-minute mark here with a 1-point lead for Russian Legion. And better field position here is Martel up in the center for Uprising.
So Borromeo making a bump, taking one more spot over here on the snake side, getting into this Temple 2. Now he's up over the top, looking for bodies, thinking about making a move to the snake. He makes it in there underneath Malloy's gun. There goes Arnold with the big move, hooked out to the Dorito corner, now up into the mini wall.
So you got Malloy posted up snake side.
Arnold's going head-to-head with Golev right now.
Yeah, and Borromeo in the snake for Uprising. Oh, caught one on the side, though, so dropping the ball over here. Alex Borromeo going to be taking the walk.
It's great shooting from Malloy back center, Legion.
So only 3 bodies alive for Russian Legion. Uprising now with 2. It's Arnold and Martel.
Arnold's
As
pushed up.
Bierdnikov makes a move. He comes out of the back center, gets into the first Temple on the snake side. 3 minutes, 45 seconds left to go here. Russian Legion with a slim lead over Uprising. There's the camera on the Dorito side. You can see Arnold, number 5.
And Bierdnikov just got into the snake for Moscow Red Legion as we're watching the action over here on the D side of the field. Really going to be up to last couple players here for Uprising, Kyle Martel and Arnold. Somebody's going to have to get a kill here because Russian Legion, they're just going to dig in. 3 minutes, 18 seconds left. They may not have the ground, but they have the numbers.
Oh,
Alex.
great shooting there from Malloy Bierdnikov. Number 11 for Russian Legion.
Alexander lined
the
that
towel.
up, came over the top and hit Martel with the bazooka right in the face in that center wall. What a shot right there.
Graham Arnold walking off the field as the towel's thrown by Uprising to give the point to Legion.
Yeah,
So-
well, at that point, I mean, there's
Yeah.
only 1 body left alive. They needed to keep all the time on the clock as they can.
Yeah. And Uprising, you know, like we talked about, you can see the speed on that field. You know, so it's about time they start turning on the jets, getting some attack going on here. Check out this replay real quick. Here's Bierdnikov with Martel posted on him. Bierdnikov's going to look back.
He's kind of looking cross field, maybe talking it up, calling some calling some codes cross field.
Yep.
Comes out here.
Take a look.
No
Line
one-
it
you
up
know-
real quick.
Yeah, lines it up, knows that no one's on him from that snake side, counts the bodies and comes right over the top and just smokes him down. So getting back in this game here, can Aftershock get back in this match? Have to play aggressive, no choice. 2 minutes and 13 seconds to go. Up into the center again, LJ Woodley. I mean, other opposing teams might as well just let Woodley start in that center 50.
He's
So
getting
Jacob
up there.
Edwards taking a walk after his great point beforehand.
Timmy.
Timmy.
And a minor penalty, so the door is going to open for Chicago Aftershock here as a lot of bodies came off.
Got a
And a
penalty.
minor penalty,
Yeah.
so not too many damage players left on the field here.
Yeah.
Aftershock needs to count those bodies and start to close the gaps here.
Looked like LP got that minor in the back center and did get Jacob Edwards pulled, so just 2 bodies left alive now for Tampa Bay damage. Good news for Chicago Aftershock, but they got to come, and here comes Woodley using that temple to block off. Silos Cortez trying to make something happen, but Woodley's going to run him down. Haven't seen Cortez very much, and the point he gets in, gets ripped up. Have a quick little check over here as Dizon Lawhead and Woodley check each other and go blow that buzzer. And that point's going to be good. So Aftershock still in this, refusing to give up.
And got a little bit of a gift with that penalty too, but they played well in there. They got in there, and again, Woodley is kind of lights out for Chicago Aftershock, and as far as MVP is considered, or as far concerned, would have to give him that for Chicago Aftershock. Like we just said, might as well let him start in that center 50. I can't even remember the last time we saw him. I think he did die a little early, and you can see, look at this. Gets one, goes right to the bunker, switches hands, right-handed, sees that Cortez is shooting towards that snake side and comes right through, doesn't take a ball. Nice work by LJ Woodley to close that point out.
And Ronnie Deason coming in from Dorito's side, just being the dominant gun that side and making moves. Asked for the check to press the buzzer. Point to Aftershock.
So Chicago Aftershock fighting to get a win here at this event, and a very disappointing finish so far for them as they have not won a game yet. Now we're going to head back into this Moscow Red Legion Seattle Uprising, and on the strength of that amazing snapshot by one of the best ever to do it, Alexander Bertnikov. Moscow Red Legion with the lead. Let's see if they can preserve it.
I think there's some kind of technical timeout right now, or a team timeout. There's a bit of a pause. Both teams waiting at the start gate.
Yeah, so it looks like it is a little bit of a technical timeout here, which gives us a second to talk about, you know, who we checking out as the favorites here. You know, Heat, Dynasty. Dynasty did lose a game though to Impact, so you know you got to give it to Impact there. Impact going 4-0, Heat going 4-0. I think because of the more difficult schedule for Edmonton Impact, going to have to give them a slight edge over Heat as far as, you know, the fight through the prelims. But so while we have this technical timeout, so guys, what do you think here? Heat Impact favorites. What do you think?
Definitely. Edmonton Impact.
Impact's the
Taking
favorite
Impact.
right now.
Yeah, Impact's the favorite for sure.
Dynasty.
Heat made it look so easy. I know they had an easier schedule, but I mean, they didn't really have any sort of problem whatsoever.
Hey, Heat almost became World Cup champions against Dynasty, so they can pull it out of the bag, and maybe it didn't look as clutch as Edmonton Impact. They worked so well as a team. There was no real stars for Edmonton Impact. Yeah, you can say Keith Brown has always been there in the snake and making it out wide, Lival in the middle, but you know, go on, Matt.
I was just going to say, look, I mean, Moscow Red Legion, they're beating Seattle Uprising right now. Legion also didn't have the schedule that that Impact had, but they could potentially go 4-0 too. So that would be huge for Moscow to go all the way through the prelims, not losing a game. And looks like, and again, I know on paper they still have some rookies that are kind of coming into their own, but I mean, they're looking pretty good.
Well, that's why I thought that this was a big game for Uprising, and you know, it is kind of what I thought. You know, Uprising, I think, is giving them the Russians a really good game out here. You know, and I think that says a lot about Uprising. But you know, talk to Thunder, because the Thunder was the first game that the Russians played, and you know, they were really saying like, hey man, these guys are really playing solid. You know, and the thing that the Russians are doing too is that, you know, just like Heat, when they shoot bodies on the break, and you know, they're up points and they're up bodies, you know, they're not giving anything away. There's not a whole lot of freebies and mistakes. You know, when you play and you know, you decrease the amount of mistakes that you make consistently, then you know, you're going to see this type of play out of the Russian Legion, and you know, that's why they're probably going to go 4-0 here. But you know, this game ain't over yet. You know, Uprising still has a chance. There's still some time, but you know, I think they need to get a little more aggressive in these last couple points if they're going to put the pressure on the Russians and try and win this game.
Yeah,
You
so
look at the Saturday afternoon results. Houston Heat there beating Thunder 5-2 and beaten 187 Crew 9-2. But remember, 187 Crew beat the Outlaws 6-2, so they can get the big numbers on the board. Russian Legion, you can see there, beating Aftershock, who we're watching now, 5-3. So Russian Legion and Heat, like you said, Matty, obviously Dynasty, Edmonton Impact up there, but I think those four.
Well, and also Heat beat 187 Crew 9-2, and that was their second Mercy Rule of the prelims. I think 9, I'm looking at my scorecard right now, I think 9 might be the most amount of points that anybody has put up here at this event. So that's what I'm saying. You know, I think that though Heat kind of coasted through their games, and we didn't really see, I think that we saw a little bit more out of Impact as far as what their skill level. I mean, obviously we're talking about Heat and Impact, so, you know, arbitrary as far as skill level there and the players that are on that squad. But I'm not saying that Heat's the favorite, but I think that they're going to give Impact a run for their money. They're not going to be able to play them in the early rounds of Sunday's competition. But that being said, I think Heat's got a real shot to win this event. You know, and also, like, looking at the finishes last year for Houston Heat, they took 4th overall. They took 2nd at the first event of the year. Then they took 3rd at the Great Lakes Open. 9th, that was their worst event at Virginia Beach, and then 2nd at the World Cup. And Shelly, you just mentioned that heartbreaker they lost against San Diego Dynasty very at the last second with Kyle Spica having that heroic, where they get that 4-pack with all those when but Heat was pushing into Dynasty to try to get that win. So I don't know. I just think that when you're looking at with all the variables considered, that we have to at least consider Heat neck and neck right now with Impact. My opinion, at least.
I agree with you. You know, I think that they're winning in different ways. You know, and
Yeah,
I think that you know, Impact. You know, you can really say Rabakoff and Cornell were blasting down that Dorito side.
And they
Keith
were.
Brown was smoking people down the snake
He
side.
was.
And, you know, they had a few different guys going up the middle. Laval was going up there. Rainey Stanzak going up the middle. You know, we were talking about Zach Yakimek all year last year destroying people. And, you know, we barely called his name because he's just going over here supporting Keith Brown while he's rolling people. So when you have, you know, deep contributions from, you know, everybody on your roster, you know, that's huge. But, you know, all these guys were watching them blast down, make good moves. Houston Heat, you know, they're doing it just cool. They're like, all right, cool, we're going to shoot a bunch of you on the break. We're just going to chill, you know, shoot you out one by one.
And we saw the chilling with Ryan Moorhead.
We'll do it again. Do it again. We'll do it again. You know, it was so nonchalant the way that Heat was beating people. It didn't look like the pressure was really put on them. It didn't seem like they were really challenged so far this event. So, you know, it's going to be interesting. You know, it's people can argue both ways that it's good to be challenged or to have an easy ride into Sunday. So, you know, what happens on Sunday is, you know, what we're here for, right?
Also got to keep Dynasty's name up in the mix here as far as favorites. Yeah, they pretty much got decimated by Impact, spotted them 5 points. We're talking about San Diego Dynasty. Didn't change the roster in the offseason, won the World Cup. And as we always say, never want to give that great team a second chance. And, yeah, they did lose one game. It's not really a second chance, but we're sitting here singing the praises of Heat and Impact. But, you know, of course, Dynasty, they've got a huge shot to win this tournament. But as we're on this technical timeout, take a quick short break. We'll be right back after this. So we're back from technical timeout. Chicago Aftershock, Damage, and Legion and Uprising right now. Legion and Uprising taking the field to play their next point. Legion with the lead by 2, 3:16 on the clock. So we could potentially see a long point with Legion taking the victory, or maybe Uprising and be able to score a couple quick ones here, tie it up, potentially take it to overtime. We've only seen one overtime match. That was yesterday, Houston Heat versus Shock, and Heat took that victory.
Well, we got Borromeo, Eaton, Schrader, Arnold back in the game. Here's their starting five. Kirill, Malloy, Golev. Looks like all bodies are going to make it out alive on both sides of the field. There you see the Russians doubling up. I'm sorry, they got one in the Dorito 1 and one in that Dorito Tower.
Both teams starting off quite narrow. Neither team pushing up the center.
Yeah, no one up in the center. A little bit of that cross-field spread, heavy in the center, like you were saying, Shelly, for Russian Legion. Now we're getting a look at Uprising's line. And looks like Borromeo over here towards the snake side. Nate Schrader in the center. Just kind of slow playing this a little bit. They do have 2 points to score, so gonna have to get upfield here relatively shortly. And it looks like Borromeo might have caught one. There goes Nate Schrader advancing up into that center. Nate Schrader.
Well, the thing that you know about the Russians is that when they get into this situation, they're going to shoot their lanes and hold their lanes and hold their lanes and keep pounding. So Uprising trying to be really smart right here about making their moves, but the Russians are the first one to drop a body out of that snake side Temple 1. Nate Schrader now up to the snake side. He's going to need to make a move here fairly quickly if they're going to score 2 points, but also trying to be smart. Eaton makes a move and he gets shot in the leg, trying to go out to the Dorito side. Graham Arnold over there with him. He's going to counter and make a move up, but he's going to get into the wall alive. Alex Borromeo gets shot off the snake side for Uprising. Olsen tries to make a move. He might have got picked up. Here goes Alexander Biernikov. He gets torched, trying to go get Nate Schrader by Graham Arnold. So Schrader, Arnold, and Olsen all alive right now for Uprising. 1 minute and 24. There's Arnold on the screen right now on the outside. Big Dorito trying to get kills across the field. Arnold still alive, but Olsen ends up getting shot out of the snake.
Yeah, but Nate Schrader trying to call his shot on Golev. He gets it. Going to take a couple more of those, though. Just 2 players left alive right now for Uprising, and most importantly, only about 1 minute and 5 seconds to go here. You see the 2 players left alive. There goes Graham Arnold past the 50-yard line up on the D side of the field. He does have Nate Schrader right beside him.
Graham Arnold playing brilliantly, taking out Malloy. Malloy had no idea he was pushing up Dorito's side. He's going to get the final kills here.
So here goes Graham Arnold on the move. He gets one. It's just Nate Schrader. Nate Schrader shoots that body. Arnold still alive. So
goes
Uprising
in,
on the comeback.
Stuffs that buzzer to get the point as quick as he possibly could. Look out for Graham Arnold and Nate Schrader from Uprising. Pulling within 1 with just about 38 seconds to go here. Graham Arnold making extra sure that that point is good. Looks like it is. So 1-point ball game right now. Uprising still in this one, but they are going to be forced to push as aggressively as you can. Not a lot of time with 38 seconds left. Let's check out this replay.
So what a move by Graham Arnold here. Standing on the Russian side of the field. He's gunned up on the Dorito, puts the corner in, makes his run, bunkers out the Dorito, keeps his body alive, and then shoots that corner guy as Nate Schrader was coming down the other wire. They tag team, close that game out, win a quick 2-on-2. Graham Arnold asking for a spinning penalty right there, not going to get it.
You know, and also Uprising, their hopes are still alive. You know, I was talking earlier saying that they were 1-2. They were actually 2-0 coming into it. They lost the first one. They're still 2-1. If they win this game, they got a shot.
Chad Bouzier then pushing all the way up into the middle. Is that Chad? Number 7, yep, for Damage, shooting through the crack of the wall. But Aftershock pushing Dorito's side.
Yeah,
they are both lying on the 50. Here we go.
Chad Bouzier went up there to get Woodley, but Woodley ends up coming to get him and coming through the middle of the field. He gets 2, trades out with Jason Edwards, gets 3. Woodley make a great move. 1 minute left. Here comes Aftershock trying to close out the point. 60 seconds left Velez coming through the middle of the field.
And they're going to
Drew
get
Templeton
it. Big point
running
there.
down the Dorito side, and we are all tied up here
with just
at 4.
Yeah, and less than a minute to go. So both these games really close. So like I was just saying, Uprising came in 2-0 on the day. They lost their first game against Damage, sending them into 2-1. Damage also 2-1. So if Shock comes and beats Damage, putting Shock at 1-3, that means Damage will be 2-2. And if Uprising can somehow tie this game up, take it into overtime and win, that'll put them at 3-1, which will put them into Sunday.
Ooh, this is the bracket.
Wow. Exciting stuff over here. Check out this run through by John Woodley as he comes through, gets Chad Bougere, shoots the wall on the run, and then trades out. Actually, may have traded out, or Drew Templeton may have shot Jason Edwards. As Drew Templeton, you see just as, watch Woodley. Here he comes, just when Woodley gets and engages with Edwards.
But keep your eye on that D
Here
side.
comes Edwards. Here comes Templeton down the D side as he comes out of that 50 wall and then runs all the way down, closing out this game for Chicago Aftershock.
Well, what a way to end the first set of prelims that we're going to see in 2016 with 2 close games here with Shock and Damage and Red Legion and Seattle Uprising.
Definitely exciting here. Keeping everybody on their toes, trying to figure out how everything's going to end up here going into Sunday's competition. Who's going to win the first event of the year?
Yeah, so, you know, again, when you're in these situations, you don't, as far as strategy is concerned, if you guys are at home wondering what these teams need to do, you're down points, no time left. You almost have to throw strategy. It's not necessarily a complex strategy. It's get guys up the field as quick as you can and make moves happen. Force the action. And that is what Uprising has to do right now. They only have 36 seconds, and here they go. Loading up in that center. They lose a body early as Borromeo comes off. Graham Arnold now shading towards the snake side. They have Martel up in the center. There goes Schrader up on that D side. Still 4 players left alive for Uprising. Russian Legion looks like they're full complement of players out there. No, first body to drop Axel Godin, and here comes the attack. Martel past the 50-yard line. He gets stitched up. Graham Arnold now attacking up the snake side. There goes the bodies dropping. No one's looking at him, and Graham Arnold is just going to keep going, and there's going to be a major penalty on Moscow Red Legion. Graham Arnold shoulder checks, and I think he stuffed it, and he got it with enough time.
It sure looked like he did. Alexander Biernikov is losing his mind right now, but the referee was calling that major penalty on the Russian Legion player who continued to shoot at Eaton and Schrader running down the Dorito side. Nobody even looked at
nobody was looking
Graham Arnold.
at Graham Arnold's way.
As Graham Arnold took off, everybody looked towards Eaton and Schrader.
Yeah, and
I don't know if you can see the action replay, but it looked like Arnold shot Colombo in the shoulder, but Colombo continued shooting.
Well, let's check it out right here on your screen. There's Graham Arnold at Snake 1, gets up, realized no one's even looking his way.
Colombo back center got clipped there on the shoulder, carried on playing. Here we go.
Even
Watch
a better,
shoulder.
better angle, and there goes Graham Arnold. No one's even looking his way. Ref throws the major. Boom, goes shoulder checks. Colombo gets out of his way, stomps on that buzzer, potentially to tie it up. I think that we have a tie ball game heading up. We can run that back a little bit. If we can run that replay back. As the referees, I think, I don't even see any argument. I'm pretty sure they got that point. You can see here, Todd, from this angle again.
Yeah, well, Biernikov ends up being there on the ground, and there goes Arnold to go hang the flag as he runs into Colombo. A little bit of collision. The referee is running to throw that major. So either way, time is just about to expire. The player that makes the bump on the far right of the screen is eliminated. So if Colombo was already dead and that guy gets a major, then the clock would have stopped anyway because there's nobody left to pull, and Uprising should have got the point anyway, right?
With the major,
so there's nobody left to pull.
Yes.
There's a major.
Instant point. And
instant
I can see
major clock stop.
Axel Godin coming over here along with the coach, Alex, for Moscow Red Legion to try to figure this out with the referees here.
20 seconds.
But we're going to head into this next point. We got another close matchup. And we've seen another look at it. Look at that. No one looking at Arnold. And you can see that flag thrown here by the referee.
Oh, Biernikov's wigging out because he was the one that was shooting towards Arnold. as he made his run.
Well, now we're going into another close one here, all tied up before Tampa Bay Damage, Chicago Aftershock, and another one with less than a minute to go. And loading up in the center is Chicago Aftershock. A body drops for Tampa Bay Damage off that D side. It's 4-on-5, 39 seconds. 2 bodies up in the center. First one past the 50. I think that's LJ Woodley. No, that's not Woodley. Woodley is still there, and he gets stitched up. Woodley's still here at the 50, but another body drops for Tampa Bay Damage as they streak a body out towards the D side.
Jacob Edwards
Holiday
making
locking
a move.
it up and shot Woodley in the face. Looks like Bouzier is moving Dorito's side. And Aftershock
Woodley gets yanked off the field. But here comes Velez, 10 seconds left to go. Tim Montresor streaking down the middle of the field. Velez shoots Holiday. Looks like
And I haven't seen a
AJ
penalty.
Lawhead. Yeah, not going to be enough time. AJ Lawhead and Jacob Edwards almost ran into each other over there down the Dorito side. So what a valiant comeback by Chicago Aftershock. This is going to go to overtime.
Yeah, and you see Jacob Edwards out there trying to beg the ref, who's yelling at the referee, didn't get a call. And Tim Montresor also giving the referees a piece of his mind too. So you can see tensions high here at the end of this as well, all these teams just fighting for their lives here in the prelims, trying to advance to Sunday. Uprising 2-1 and Tampa Bay Damage both 2-1. Damage beat Uprising head up. So right now, Uprising, I think Uprising did get that point to tie it up, sending it to overtime, and they are coming out on the field. So, yeah, we're heading to an overtime point. If the overtime point ends in a stalemate, then we're going to go to sudden death one-on-ones.
Oh, man. Madness out here. I hope you didn't turn off your TV.
Well, it is the Wild West here in Las Vegas.
Yes, we are absolutely in the Wild West.
Yeah. Hope you didn't get to bed early.
Well, it looks like they still have 5 seconds on the clock here, which is going to burn off. I mean, I don't know why we play. Why do we play these 5-second points? Makes absolutely no sense. Russian Legion didn't get the memo over there and hear the horn. So getting a little scolding from the referees. Again, I don't know why we play 5 seconds points. You can't even run the length of the field in 5 seconds, let alone shoot 5 guys. But now we are going to head to an official overtime.
Yeah, I only did it once, and it's probably not going to happen again. But, it makes no sense. I think because of that major is why they had the clock stoppage.
Yeah, I could see that.
But
the
run
major
it
was
off.
but run it off because
you
you seriously, I mean, I don't even think Carl, maybe Carl could run the length of the field in 5 seconds.
Yeah,
but
with no gun.
With no gun and no pack. Yeah, exactly. So that game going to be heading to overtime, and we still, I mean, it's getting a little crazy here at the close of the prelims. Love seeing this sort of stuff. Still trying to figure out who's going to be fighting for that Sunday berth. And also, don't go anywhere because we will have the drawing to determine who of the Sunday teams will be playing each other here coming up just after the conclusion of these matchups. So still, is it going to be Shock or Damage? Is it going to be Red Legion or Uprising? But, man, I can't say enough about Seattle Uprising coming into the pro leagues and having a great showing here. They're playing all these good teams, and they won 2 yesterday. Yeah, they did lose to Damage, but now it looks like heading to overtime against Moscow Red Legion, who went undefeated yesterday as well. Actually, and undefeated throughout the event.
Yeah, I've become a big fan of Uprising. I love the way they play, and Graham Arnold's just a rising star there.
Yes, he is. Absolutely. And that's the thing, it's all about depth, right, Todd? I mean, you've seen this time and time again throughout the years. Team will come up, they'll have a couple guys that are the stars on the team doing the majority of the work, getting the majority of the kills out there. But Uprising, early on in their careers, we know Nate Schrader and Alex Borromeo can play the game. And we know that they have some of these younger talents, but like Nate was telling me, he called this. He said, watch out, literally, quote, watch out for Graham Arnold, and he was not wrong.
No, not at all. And, again, we've talked about teamwork all weekend. They're running those 5 guys that have played together for so long. It's not just this year and last year. These guys have been playing together since they were little kids, and to watch them come up, like this is a paintball dream come true right here, to now be playing together on the pro scene and, being somebody to contend with.
So Damage on your left.
Yeah, 5 minutes on the clock heading into this overtime point. Looks like the first body to drop is Jacob Edwards. No, I think that was Jacob Edwards for Tampa Bay Damage. And and Shock drops 2 bodies.
Yeah, Drew Templeton and Ronnie Dizon both coming off the field. We got Lawhead, Velez, and Woodley alive.
Tim Montresor making his way into the snake for Tampa Bay Damage, into snake 1.
Just one body down for Damage. Holiday backing up Montresor over here on the snake side. Chad Bougere still alive in Dorito 1.
Yeah, you got Woodley chopping down Dorito's side. I mean, his secondary move will be down in that center, which he's been owning, but Aftershock loses another player, snake side.
Which is going to even up the count a little bit here, and actually might be advantage to Damage.
Definitely, there's only 2 players remaining for Aftershock. And that's 1 minute played now in the overtime point.
Tampa Bay Damage streaking up the field, trying to capitalize on this body advantage. And again, here, no surprise, last player left alive is John L.J. Woodley. That's been the story of the tournament for Chicago Aftershock. And Tampa Bay Damage going to take this victory and punch their ticket on. And if I'm Seattle Uprising, I'm a little frustrated right now because I think regardless of what happens in that matchup, because Damage is the higher seed and they won the heads up, and I think they might even have the point spread too. So that means Damage is going to punch their ticket to head on to Sunday's competition here, along with Moscow Red Legion. Let's check out the end of the tournament here for Chicago Aftershock, and I think it's fitting that the end of the tournament is L.J. Woodley all by his lonesome, getting shot by Tim Montresor, who used to play on Aftershock. And that's just unfortunate for Chicago Aftershock. They just couldn't get the crossfield production that they really needed to contend here, and going a very disappointing 0-4, which, you know, heading into this event after the 3rd place finish and looking at their roster, knowing their roster is better. I mean, again, you could say, okay, well, they didn't do as well. It's not as good as the 3rd. Yeah, I don't care. Even on paper, regardless, they just can't get everyone clicking right now.
Hey,
that's the problem.
If Uprising win this, they'll go through and Damage won't. I'm just looking at the spread.
Well, Damage won heads up, and Damage has them on seed. So we'll have to see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
I try not to get too crazy with trying to figure it out as we're trying to call the games, and let the statistical masterminds over there work it out for us.
And here we have Uprising getting 2 kills early, but they do lose Joel Eaton going out wide on that Dorito side. Kirill is up in the center wall right now, looking for kills. On the snake side, he's going to try and make a run through. He comes through.
Oh, PbNation goes and air bunkers the center structure, but stays alive, and then moves on over to try to lock down that D side of the field. So 4 players left alive for Uprising, just 3 for Moscow Red Legion, all tied up in this overtime point. 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go. There's Kirill PbNation, the captain of the team, up there trying to win this point and win this game for Russian Legion.
Lucky break for him that he didn't get shot. I don't know if he got some bad information or if he just wanted to be safe, but came all the way around and exposed himself. Could very well have almost given away his body right there, but he's still alive. Now he knows nobody's there, and he's in control of the middle of this field. He's got Alexander Bierdnikov behind him. There you see Kirill on your screen on the right side. Alexander Bierdnikov on the left. There you see Alex Borromeo with the red harness on. He's got Nate Schrader and Graham Arnold with him.
Oh,
the back center is Olsen.
Oh, but Nate Schrader sloppily tries to get out towards that D side and catches one to even up the body count. 3 apiece right now, but better field position for Moscow Red Legion.
Let's hope that doesn't spoil what's happening here with Uprising. I was just about to say Uprising, keeping tidy and not making any risky moves, and boom, and there it happened.
So now Uprising in the 3 back bunkers. Borromeo, Arnold, and Olsen. Kirill still in the middle of the field. Bierdnikov making out wide on the Dorito side. He's now in the mini wall, looking down low. The Russians still have a player in the first temple, mirrored up with Alex Borromeo right now.
Todd Shelley, you think it was Kirill that got the shot on Nate heading out there?
Yeah, I think
it was.
Yeah, running up, running and gunning.
Yeah, I think he was listed looking that way, posted that way. So here comes Alexander Bierdnikov now on the inside Dorito, trying to put paint back at Arnold. Arnold and Olsen.
So tense moments here and time ticking off. If this match ends in a stalemate, we will go to sudden death, 1-on-1. Bring out your heroes and see who wins. Just 2:12 to go.
As the camera now is the view on Bernikov, Malloy playing Dorito's side. It looks like Legion have the better bunkers on the field, but Uprising aren't giving anything away and staying tight. And as I said that, they lose a player on the Snake side. So it's just Arnold remaining.
Yeah, Shelly, you're right. They definitely have the better bunkers and just got that kill. Another death out of the bunker there for Uprising. Now just 2 players left alive. It's 3 on 2. And
Alexander Biernikov wide out there too.
And I think Malloy shot through his pack. Yeah, Alexander Britnikov, no pods left on his back. So he's forced to fight with what he has in his hopper. And here goes the big move from Krill Bridney. He's going to launch, and he's going to assassinate Brandon Olson, who got to be careful to get that spinning penalty.
That's
It
a
doesn't
great
matter.
move.
Yeah, so Krill Bridney, the captain, and the guy that's been holding that team together for years.
Look at Biernikov. He's going to run over to Arnold and go give him a piece of his mind. He's an angry dude.
Malloy ran right over, still alive and not going out of bounds, but runs up to Graham Arnold. Didn't quite get in his face because Arnold was out of bounds, so he couldn't do it, but gave him a little bit of piece of his mind, and then goes back and hits that buzzer. I think he's still going to go right back over there.
So
Malloy going right back over there. The ref is trying to point him back towards his spot.
He's going to go and get a piece of his mind.
Malloy going right. I think he's going to go into the pits.
And Graham Arnold now with his mask off in the pits. I mean, Malloy definitely thinks that Graham Arnold is crafty, which is a word you used earlier on, Matty. Graham Arnold is top player for Uprising.
I have been there. I've been in Malloy's position. If I felt that, you know, I got the bad end of a call and I was positive for what I saw, I wouldn't let it go. You know, I made sure I went over there and gave a little bit of peace of my mind to that player. And Malloy's still preaching his gospel over there.
Yeah.
Let's look at the last closing play here as Krill Bridney, the captain, Moscow Red Legion, running through and gets a double dose there, gets a little 2-pack to close it out. And Britnikov was alive just in case as the stopgap measure on that D side.
So Kirill, the captain, the hero there, and Malloy pressing the buzzer after giving a piece of his mind to the walking Arnold off the field. Here he comes. This is Malloy speaking to the dead Graham Arnold from Uprising before he goes and presses the buzzer.
Well, I mean, so if we can bring this back a little bit here. Let's go back a little bit. I think the referees might be discussing
well, the referees are shooing everyone off the field, but what are you going to penalize for Malloy right now? Or the game's over. Game is over.
This is paintball, right?
Yeah, this is paintball. I mean, you're really going to give Malloy a penalty for this? Why? He's not dead. He's not a dead man talking. I mean, okay, maybe a little unsportsmanlike conduct, but come on, really? You're going to penalize Malloy and change the outcome of the game? The Russian Legion won that point, fair and square. So we'll see what happens here. So the referee's kind of still talking over. That's the coach right there, Coach Alex Trando from Moscow Red Legion, and the referee is talking it over with him.
Yeah. And
there's CJ Traub also with his back to us.
Well, I want to see the run through again, the first run through where Kirill came down through the middle of the field and bunkered out Olsen. You know, I'd like to see that sequence again if possible.
Yeah, I don't know.
Watch this real quick.
Hold on. I just saw Alex with his hands on his hips right now, and the referees are telling Coach Alex from Moscow Red Legion something about what Malloy did. But
okay, well,
tell you what,
we know what Malloy did, but I just wanted to see this one more time from that opposite angle. See, there's Biernikov. He goes charging towards Graham Arnold instead of going towards the buzzer. Actually goes towards Olsen.
Did he go out of bounds, though? Did he go out of bounds right there? I think he might have gone out of bounds.
I don't think he went out of bounds, but I want to see the run-through from the opposite angle that we had.
Well, I just heard that there's going to be a one-on-one, so there's got to be. I didn't see a penalty flag, but the referees are still over here. They talked to the coaches from coach. So look, I'm getting a signal that it's going to be a one-on-one, which I don't know about that, but you know, I couldn't quite. You know, we're trying to ascertain what happened out there and what sort of penalty they're assessing.
Here's a couple things. Even if you get this unsportsmanlike, if you watch this in slow motion, these two guys are crossed up. So here comes Kirill, and right about here,
does he catch one?
I just want to see if you can see, because first of all,
then he catches one there. But Olsen has a big hit on his back, right?
Yeah,
I think Olsen, Kirill has a hit on his chest, right? But it also looked like Arnold might have spun. So I just wanted to see if there was, where the hits came from on Kirill when he comes through.
So we're trying to
So-
ascertain now why there's going to be a one-on-one and what the reasons are for that, because we're watching this now. And
So it
it
looks like-
doesn't seem to be that much.
I think Arnold may have shot Kirill.
We're finding out now. Matty's
I
just
mean, none of
finding
this is
out.
going to matter now. Obviously, they're not calling the penalties on these moves right here, but, here comes Kirill. He ends up with a hit on his leg, which I think is from Arnold, but he got hit on his shoulder from Olsen.
So I've just
But
got to.
that looked like a good run through right there, but I mean, if we're going to call a penalty on Malloy, this is pretty close over here with Arnold
Okay,
as well.
exactly. So I just got a little bit of info, didn't completely figure out what's going on. It looks like it is going to one-on-ones, which we always love to see. However, unfortunately, not know exactly sure. Let me see if I can find out real quick what that one-for-one penalty or what the penalty is going to be and who's it on in order to send it in here.
So the reason why it's gone to one-on-one, it's an overtime point, but it's probably going to be a 0 point over what happened there.
All
Maybe
right.
to come to the penalties. Matty, do you have the answers?
Yes, I got the answer for you, which I'm not really that happy with. Hate seeing these, but we are going to be going to a one-on-one unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on Moscow Red Legion, which
That's a
is
real
going to send
shame.
it to the one-on-ones.
Now, we don't know what was said just then, but hey, that's sport, and that's a big decision to make. Russian Legion won that point
Yeah.
in the overtime. We all saw it. They won that point.
I don't like seeing victory taken away from a team that won it on the field because somebody had something to say. I mean, really, does that change anything? It changes absolutely nothing.
It doesn't. It
You
just
know?
gives Uprising a chance. It's great for Uprising.
And it's great for the drama of the game here, but still, if we're talking about, what we're talking about some sort of validation here.
So it must have been this moment here, whether he was still alive before he touched the buzzer, or what's happening now. He's put his gun down and said something to the pits.
Well, it looked like when he went back the second time, he apologized.
Looks like it's going to be
like
two
he went up to him,
one-on-ones.
he yelled at him, and then he went back again and was like, hey, sorry.
Okay,
Or was like,
I'm just
hey,
saying,
screw you.
penalties are, we have rules to try to keep the action again. I mean, I get it, unsportsmanlike conduct exists for a reason. Yeah, I'm not saying we should get rid of the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but, how do a few words change what happened in that game?
They
Yeah, they don't. They do not change. So hold on a second. So we're just going to try to get a little clarification here.
Yeah, so we're going to talk to the ultimate judge over here right now, and,
To find out the real reason of why there's a decision being made now for a one-on-one.
Yeah. So,
Here we go. Matty has the answers.
Yeah, so it looks like, actually, I'm going to throw Jason Trojan real quick. Jason, please come over here real quick. I'm going to throw Jason on the microphone. Jason's going to explain this. He's one of the guys on the rule committee here. So, Jason, explain this for me here. We're, heading into a one-on-one competition based on that penalty. We won't even get into the penalty. It's going to take too much time. Break the one-on-one down for me.
So basically, the two teams picked their best player, or whoever they wanted to play this one-on-one, and it's a 2-minute time limit. The first player to get eliminated loses, so you don't have to hit the buzzer. So you can win by eliminating the other player or hitting the buzzer within that 2 minutes.
What happens if the 2 minutes expires and no one gets shot?
Then there's a minute break. They put the next two players out there, and it's the same thing. It goes until one team wins one-on-one, and then
So it's essentially sudden death within a 2-minute period.
correct.
Awesome.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Jason. Appreciate that. So yeah, again, we could argue the merits of that penalty all night long, which I would be down to do, but we are going to figure out. So right now, with where we are squared away on this, send out your hero. Send your hero out. Who's the guy that plays the best for you? Who is your best player?
I would pick Malloy, Bernikov.
Especially with
Of
what
course,
happened
you gotta
right
go.
here.
You gotta go
You
Malloy
gotta
and
go
Arnold.
Malloy.
Malloy
and Arnold right now, right? And
Arnold
it looks like,
also won you a one-on-one earlier.
and Arnold is out there on the field right now for Uprising. We still don't know who Moscow Red Legion is going to send out, but I can't imagine another guy coming out besides Alexander Bertnikov. Why would you send anyone other than Alexander Malloy Bertnikov out to play this one-on-one? He got you into this situation.
Yeah.
You know, he wanted to give a piece of his mind. Referees decided that that should be tournament changing. They threw the penalty on him. So give him a chance to let the paintball gods decide. You and the paintball gods going to decide this one.
Yeah, well, that's what we thought happened when Malloy was screaming that he cheated him at the end of regulation, and that's why Malloy went and yelled at him to begin with. So we're going to say, hey, you know what? Why don't you two guys just square off right now? Why don't you two guys just handle this, all right? How about this? All right?
All right, so it looks like we have a little bit of a moment here, technical timeout, as it looks like Alexander Burtnikov is the man coming out for Moscow Red Legion. We're going to be right back with this sudden death one-on-one. Is it going to be Graham Arnold for Uprising, Alexander Burtnikov for Moscow Red Legion? Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Place your bets.
A paintball hit is when a paintball hits you, impacts and explodes on any part of yourself, your paintball marker, or any part of your equipment that you carry on the field.
Now, occasionally, a player may get shot and the ball will bounce off. When this happens, you're not eliminated, but you want to check to make sure.
3, 2, 1, game on!
So here we go. Alexander Burtnikov on your right, Graham Arnold on your left. Uprising, Moscow Red Legion. Who is going to take this one-on-one sudden death victory?
Oh, and there it is, right in front of his loader. Graham Arnold just took one off the
and
kit.
Moscow Red Legion, Alexander Burtnikov has come out and made his statement here, taking down Graham Arnold in order to win this one-on-one sudden death. Punch Moscow Red Legion's ticket undefeated heading into Sunday's competition.
Oh, how happy is the Red Legion right now?
Now, Malloy, do not go over to Graham Arnold because they may give you another one-on-one.
I mean, I might have a little something to say. Not much, maybe a word or two. You could see he stopped real quick and turned around. And
Burtnikov, number 11 for Russian Legion,
refs
the
are
hero.
shooing Alexander Burtnikov off the field. They're like, okay, man, you got it. You won. Just take your walk, celebrate tonight, reset for tomorrow. Moscow Red Legion is back in the hunt here in the NXL Pro Division. Let's take a look at this replay. It's going to be quick here. Graham Arnold, I mean, he pretty much comes right around and then just takes one almost immediate. Pretty quick here. He comes around, gets a stream out.
Yeah, he shot about 20 balls there, and then he switches hands.
He just got the Conor McGregor treatment right there.
Boom.
Jose Aldo right on top of the loader. There it was. What a shot. Just ticked him right on top. There it goes. And that's the end of that. Night-night. Hey.
Hey, justice has prevailed as far as I'm concerned.
But hey, man.
Justice has prevailed.
Graham Arnold had a heck of a tournament.
I'm
point,
not taking anything away from Graham Arnold. Graham Arnold was balling out of control for Uprising.
Hey, guys, we're going to be talking about this for all year, about the Graham Arnold and Malloy matchup here.
So there we go in Saturday afternoon's results. Heat defeating Thunder. 187 crew taking down the Outlaws. Russian Legion edging out Chicago Aftershock. Damage taking down Uprising. Looks like Heat put the most points up of any team, 9-2 against 187 crew. And then Thunder also put a ton of points up against the Outlaws. That was a hard-fought battle, 8-6. And then we had an overtime matchup between Tampa Bay Damage, Chicago Aftershock. Damage took that victory. What a great last set that was. That was the best set of the tournament by far. And there was a couple ones yesterday that were pretty good. And then Russian Legion taking the victory in sudden death overtime, Shelly.
So before we go to a commercial and end the day here, and before we get the draw, we kind of looking at the scores, and looks like Dynasty and Impact are through. Looks like Heat and 187 crew are through. Looks like Infamous and X Factor are through. And looks like Russian Legion and Tampa Bay Damage are through. Let's see, and we'll find out after this short commercial break.
You're the first one on the field and the last one to leave. Always prepared. It's a lifestyle. You dig deep. You do whatever it takes. You cultivate discipline. You're training to win. You have the heart. You have the passion. It's a grind. There's no redemption without sacrifice.
Now this is a paintball marker. It's a standardized version made by a bunch of different companies with other designs, but essentially all of them work the same way. We have a compressed air tank filled with 4,500 pounds of pressure at the start of the game, and that's gonna function a bolt system, which allows us to shoot up to 300 feet per second, which is our safety limit. Now when we fire the gun, after the first 3 shots, they all shoot at 10.5 balls per second, and that's just to create a level playing field. Now on top we have a loader, and this is battery powered, so the paintballs are being constantly fed down into that bolt system, so we never miss a shot. Now while I'm talking about it and I have my goggles up, for safe reasons I always keep a barrel cover on the front of my barrel, and that's just in case I pull that trigger, because it is very sensitive, I don't shoot anyone else or myself. Now at the start of every match, before each point, and often even during the match, you'll see refs walk on with a chronograph. And what this does is it's a radar that checks to make sure all of our paintball markers are shooting 300 feet per second or less.
Nothing says hardcore paintball combat quite like pulling the pin and lobbing a paint grenade at a dug-in enemy. Safe, simple to use, and made in the USA. Tippmann paint grenades add an element of fun and excitement to any game or operation for recreational, scenario, and tactical paintball players. To create the Tippmann Big Boy paintball grenade, raw tubing is cut to length and a hole is generated to allow an exit flow for the paint fill and ball bearing. Next, the ball bearing is inserted into the tube and the opposite end is crimped to seal it off. Once the tube is crimped on the end, the hole made, and the ball bearing inserted, the technician adds the grenade cap and folds the top end over to generate a seal. The grenade spoon is then hooked onto the cap and the 2 pieces are held together with the grenade's pull pin. The mechanism is then used to fill the paint grenade with 10 ounces of paint. An air pedal releases the paint into the grenade, which causes the tubing to fill. Finally, once the paint is added and the pump is shut off, the sausage crimper places a large staple on the bottom of the grenade, completing the manufacturing process. This grenade is now live and ready for packaging and play.
So we are here about to draw to see who's going to play who starting tomorrow here in the Pro Division. Now, first up, we're going to pull for Impact. Now, we already have Dynasty's card here. Dynasty cannot play Impact. All right, Mr. Tom Cole here from the NXL is going to pull out from the hat. We also have Chris Rail from the APPA to make sure that everything is squared off and good to go. Also, Jason Trozen from the Rule Committee. All right, so Impact is going to be taking on 187. Let's put Dynasty back in the hat here. So first game, Edmonton Impact, 187 crew here in Sunday's competition. We're still going to try to find out now. X Factor cannot play Infamous, so go ahead and pull one out of there. If it's Infamous, you're going to have to put it back in and pull another one. Damage. It's Damage. Okay, so San Antonio X Factor taking on Damage. So we have Impact, 187 crew, San Antonio X Factor taking on Damage. Now we're going to find out who Houston Heat. We got all the pro teams right now and all their captains here represented, trying to find out who they're going to be playing. So still, Heat. So Heat has to play Infamous then. Yeah, that's true. So Heat has to. So Dynasty is going to be taking on Russian Legion. Heat cannot play Dynasty. No, he can't. Russian can't play Infamous. Okay, Russians can't play Infamous. So wait a second. Hold on a second. Hold on. We have a little bit of a mistake, right? So do we need? All right. So we need to redraw. Okay. So we need to redraw. So let's put these in the hat.
Yeah. I drew Dynasty. We'll draw those two. We're going to do that again.
Okay. Wait. But okay, we need to redraw these?
Yep, I drew
we need to redraw these? Okay, so we're gonna put Dynasty Infamous back in the hat. Okay, we're gonna pull those. All these jokers over here trying to set things up. We're not gonna make it happen. All right, let's get this official here. Todd, make sure it's random. All right, Tom Cole. So we got ourselves a great matchup between Houston Heat and Dynasty. And it looks like it's going to be Infamous. All right, so here we go right now. Sunday early competition. Edmonton Impact going to be taking on Upton 187 crew. X Factor going to be taking on Damage. Houston Heat going to be taking on Dynasty. That's a great matchup. And a resurgent Red Legion taking on a resurgent Los Angeles Infamous. So that is it here from the finals of the prelims. We're going to be heading in to Sunday's competition here, 2016 NXL Vegas Open, and Matty Marshall signing off. We'll see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning.